Australia's leading touch football exponents have gathered in Coffs Harbour to contest the prestigious Elite 8 series. Today on Fox Sports, you'll have a Category 1 seat as the best of the best clash in the women's and men's Elite 8 grand finals. Our coverage proudly presented by Harvey Norman, the Australian Sports Commission, Destination New South Wales, BLK, Coffs Coast, Steedon, Sports Cover, Line Break, WWSI, CX Stadium and Tablet PC.
Great to be with you from Coffs Harbour. What a 4 days this has been. The fifth instalment of the Elite 8 Touch. We've got the women's and the men's finals for you coming up today. Good crowd in at the, well, I guess you can call it almost the unofficial home of touch in the country. And let's go on ground for the first time today. Our sideline reporter, Drury Falls.
Yeah, thanks, Vossi. Well, we're here with the CEO of Touch Football Australia, Colm Maguire. Colm, the Elite 8 series in its fifth edition. We've already had 3 days of scintillating action. How excited are you for the final day?
Oh, very excited. It's going to be a wonderful event. It's going to be some scintillating touch, as you said, so it's going to be fantastic to see the teams take the field.
And this particular tournament, what does it mean for the players? Because it's right up there in terms of the most prestigious touch tournaments on the annual calendar, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's the best of the best, and it's a national championship. So the respective regions have worked extremely hard to be here. Not too long till our Trans-Tasman as well, so there's Australian selection on the line, national championships, and an opportunity to have bragging rights for 12 more months.
Well, Colm, doing a fabulous job as CEO. Thank you very much for your time. Vossi, it's back to you.
And Drury, the crowd excited, getting ready for what is a Queensland derby in the women's final here at the Elite 8s. It is the Broncos versus the Titans. Let's continue the countdown. Back to you, Drury, with the skipper of the Broncos.
Yeah, thanks, Vossi. We're here with the Queensland Broncos captain, Peter Rogerson. Of course, you're going for history today, Peter. No side has ever won the Elite 8 series twice. You are the defending champions. How's it feeling within the camp?
Really good feel. We've had ups and downs throughout the carnival, but look, none of that means anything. Today's the day where you've got to shine, and we've just had a fantastic semi-final, dug deep, and I know that we've got it in our legs to go again, and I can't wait to see the girls in action out there because they're going to do a fantastic job. I just know it.
Well, you seem pretty buoyant, you seem pretty upbeat, Peter. What about this Queensland Titans side? What challenges do you think they'll present to you today?
Yeah, look, hats off to the Titans also. Got complete respect for them. It's fantastic to see another Queensland team in the final. They've got some great up-and-coming young Queensland players, and I know they're going to give it all in the final today with us, but I do believe that we've got sort of the experience that we need to get the job done today. But look, we're really looking forward to playing them. They're a fantastic group of girls.
Not just the captain, but such a key player in this squad. Peter had an incredible World Cup last year, and the efforts against New Zealand outstanding. Another player to keep your eye on, the number 10, Kimberly Susie. She has had a sensational tournament this week at the Elite 8s. Now, the Queensland Titans lineup, there's a great mix here as well with some real top players from around the country and great experience. And also the My sisters are there in number 8 and number 9. Let's hear from the Titans camp.
Mariki Wadago, Queensland Titans captain. Our first Elite 8 series final for the Queensland Titans. Mariki, how excited are you?
Oh, we're out of our skins. It's really great, but we've been building over this tournament, so I think we definitely deserve to be in the final, and we showed that in our last semi-final.
You've certainly got to be happy about your form the last few days, as you alluded to. Coming up against a very experienced Broncos side. You guys ready?
Oh, we're definitely ready. Our team, we've played the players in their team before. Like, we play in a Queensland competition, and we've all had exposure to their players. We know they're danger players. We know they're players. So it's just a matter of stopping them.
Enough of the talk. We are ready for action. The Titans on your screens from right to left against the Broncos. I'm joined in commentary by Australian Touch Hall of Famer and the Australian men's coach, Tony Trad. And plenty to look forward to in this final.
Yes, thanks, Andrew. It certainly will be. It's been a great week of touch here at CEX Stadium. It was just under 12 months ago we were here for the World Cup, and I'm looking forward to this game. It should be a cracker.
Well, these two sides in the semi-finals. So play underway with the Titans. The Titans, that was a dramatic semi-final victory that got them through, defeating the New South Wales Mets 5 touchdowns to 4. And the Broncos getting through against the Queensland Cowboys 5-3. Early drive for the Titans. And the touch pretty close to the goal line right there by the number 12. That was Catherine Sargent. That'll show up in the replay. Getting across, mid-dive. But a near thing early. Nice little warning shot fired in there by the Titans.
Yeah, certainly was. And interesting combination here between the two teams. The Broncos, there's a long ball, gone to ground. The Broncos have been the most outstanding team here, undefeated coming into the final, a scare against the New South Wales Rebels, but other than that, they've been the standouts.
And for those of you who haven't watched a lot of touch football here on Fox Sports, we'll update you on rules and keep you abreast of how it all unfolds. Any ball that hits the ground, it's an automatic turnover. And here is the first drive of the match for the Broncos, and you'll notice too the unlimited interchange that is used, multiple changes at any one time. Once they get up near halfway, you see the troops come from every direction in goal. Acting half can't score, and that is why Hayley Maddock had to offload there. But pass couldn't find the mark.
Lucy Biden putting it down over the line. That would have been an early strike for the Broncos, and warning signs already for the Titans' defence.
H. Parker with a rush down right now. You can see the Titans making their changes as they get up towards halfway. Also a buddy system with our referees in touch football, so it's fast and furious, that is for sure. And with Andre Ascend now getting close to the line, and a lunge for it.
Great touch.
But the touch is affected, and Andre Ascend may have been injured here.
I think Samantha White comes down low, makes the touch. Good touch there. Yes, there's 14 players on the team, Andrew. 6 on the field at one time and 8 substitutions, and she is injured there. She's going off the field.
Well, that's a great disappointment for the Titans. Hinarangi Andrea Sand off in the opening couple of minutes of the final. Not going to script, but no score just yet. So as Tony said, definitely Broncos favourites going to this one. Formerly the Chiefs, and they are the defending champions, but under the new title of the Broncos this year. There's now Botten taking them to the left side. Through the centre now, that is Maddock, heavily involved in all the early exchanges, and ball back with the Titans.
Notice already, this is the style that the Broncos have been playing all week. Short array of passing, exchanging from side to side, and then they come back into the middle. So they're trying to get the Titans' defence to slide from one side to the other, and then isolate the middles and use their superior foot speed to go through.
Well, here they are, just putting down the accelerator a little on this drive, and out of acting half goes Mai, and caught there. And the ball back with the Broncos. But I'd be encouraged by the Titans' start so far.
Yeah, they're definitely the underdogs, but this is what I like. And as you alluded to, they beat the New South Wales Mets, who have made the final of every Elite Eight, and they beat them in the semi-final. So they're not going to take a backward step. They've just got to make sure they don't get overruled here against this all-star Broncos unit.
And penalty ruled here. Going Queensland's way, the Broncos' way, that is.
It's an all-Queensland affair here, and I look for the Broncos. As you can see, they're starting to move the ball. Look for the exchange of passing, the change of angles.
And now Rogerson with that drive, and swinging right to left through Sargent, but not quite there. So close calls for both teams so far in the decider.
Good defence by the Titans there. As I said, they've got to just make sure that they can match it with the early exchanges. They don't have the experience, but they do have a superior long passing game. Players like Ash Quinlan, who have come up from New South Wales, can throw both ways. Here she's about to get the ball now.
I tell you, that's pretty rare. What you just saw there, there's not many handling errors when players are mid-dive, if you like, for the line. That was a pretty fair fend, wasn't it, from Rebecca Mai. And so with changes made up on halfway, the Titans get serious sprinting. Acting half has to offload. Can't weave a hole through for the pass. Had to try and thread the needle here, Mai.
Great to work. Look at Mia Johnson, number 9 to the right of your screen. Just marking up on her player. She's not letting the support play get away and makes the touch. That's fantastic defence.
Well, she did thread the needle with a pass, but couldn't create enough space for the first touchdown of the final to be scored.
just the composure by Mia Johnson there to stay on her man and trust Peter Rogerson to get there. She would have been very tempted to come in and leaving that player open. Well done to the Broncos defence, but good start by the Titans.
Now Hopkin and Campbell, the 5 and the 4 combined. This is Lizzie Campbell going left. There was an overlap that had been created there. That probably should have been the Broncos' first touchdown here.
Yeah, definitely, and that's their plan. See, they moved the defence side to side, then Lizzie Campbell got one-on-one, I think, with Paige Parker, and superior foot speed, got outside, but didn't convert.
That's the closest call of the match so far. Sarah Spacey's pass finds the mark. They get the touchdown. This one a breakdown for the Titans. They were midstream making the change.
Yeah, the coach won't be happy with that. That's an error on your sub-box set, and good field position here for the Broncos. Let's see what they make of it.
So Broncos starting a set of 6 plays inside the Titans half here. Centre field with Catherine Sargent. And now for Peter Rogerson and Sarah Spacey. A lot of experience in those two. Spacey and Rogerson, well, they're out of sync, aren't they there? Teammate taking down teammate. Rogerson ran into Catherine Sargent, or vice versa. Take your pick. Here's Rogerson getting it right up to the goal line. Beautiful ball left to right. There's your first touchdown. Katie Mellis scores it. And Peter Rogerson, what a start.
Yeah, that's a good ball. Left to right pass. I don't know that they had the numbers. I think the winger Taylor got caught in there where she should have been out. But what a lovely ball, and great put down too.
Got to say, I've been calling touch football for a long time. It is the passing game of the women's that has been the big improver over, let's say, the last 10 years.
Absolutely. As I said earlier, the Broncos passing game, you know, as this game unfolds, they're very clinical with short passing, but there was just an example. They can throw long as good as the men can. That was Peter Rogerson. Beautiful, and left to right, mind you.
Good to see Andrea Sanders back out there now for the Titans, and with that roll ball quickly out of acting half, the scoop up by Quinlan. But that will be a Queensland Broncos ball. Well, disregarding a few exceptions, I think they've slipped into the groove now, the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, look at these girls. As you were saying, they're athletes, they're passing, their hands, fantastic. Look at the array of passing here and the speed. Look at that, exchanging of passing. And again, beautiful skills on show.
Elite 8's All Queensland final here. Queensland Broncos in front. Maddock rushes in off the substitute box straight into the play. Now the drive led by Campbell. They've offloaded again. Blink and you miss it. And Lucy Botner's got over in that right corner again. It's proving fruitful for them. And 2-0 the score to the Broncos.
What about the hands? Hayley Maddock, number 6. Have a look as they catch the middle again, isolating the middle. Look at his hands. Beautiful.
Yes.
That is silky.
That is so quick. And that bottom right corner on your screens, 2 touchdowns for the Queensland Broncos. So after encouraging start by the Titans, they find themselves down 2-0. They are 20-minute halves here at the Elite 8s.
That's classic Broncos touch there, isolating the middle, taking it one way, then bending it back the other with foot speed. Oh, what a great pass from Hayley Maddock. Got to really defend here now, the Broncos, but the Titans, they need to strike back in a hurry.
Well, that's right. I mean, if it gets... 2's not fatal by any stretch, but if it gets out to 3 or 4, then it really does become the catch-up category as the Titans, as they go left to right, not with the same precision as their opponents.
No, winger was open there, but not the greatest of passes behind the link there. You can see the winger open, and if it got there, they could have got one on the board.
We've got some really good wings on show in the Elite 8s here, as now Savannah Pratton decides that a longer ball is the way to get them up towards halfway, and those
ball.
Substitutions will come in again. Pratton and Botten working well there. Centre field with Spacey. And I'll confirm that Queensland now definitely in their groove here, the Queensland Broncos. And off
got him
with
again.
Susie, beautiful footwork, now needs to find support. She finds support just like that. They have opened the door with a key there, the master key if you like, and Lizzie Campbell has the 3rd touchdown for the Broncos.
Kim Susie, she's worked Paige Parker in and then stepped off the left foot, beat it to the short side. Winger's lost her player, and that's the easiest touchdown they'll score. And that's 2 TDs in successive sets.
Now, I know there's a lot of talent in women's touch football across the country, but where is the teenager Kimberly Susie ranked?
Well, I think you just saw it for yourself. She's up there with the best. She's so young, but just so composed. She's worked Paige Parker in. The footwork, just a little left foot step, see you later, and all the time in the world to find a player open, be patient, and convert. She's right up there. She's a superstar.
So Titans with their captain Wadigo out there and trying to get something going. Quinlan going left to right.
Touch was made, great touch.
Only just.
She's the danger player for the Titans, great work. She's just repeated the dose that the Broncos have been doing to the Titans. Worked the middle in, beat it back to the short side, but unable to convert. And essentially that's been the difference. Twice they've gone through the Titans and haven't converted.
The story with Ashley Quinlan too. In the past she's been a member of the successful Met sides, and relocating to Queensland she finds herself representing the Titans here, but brings big game experience from the Elite Eights previously. Nice drive this one with Hopkin for the Broncos at a 3-0 lead. Stretch, a little bit of speed and dive.
Touched.
Not quite there that time, Rogerson.
I'll tell you what, that could have been 3 touchdowns in 3 successive possessions for the Broncos. I think, is it Wadigo that makes the touch there? And it's a good one. She's backing off, then realises she has to go in.
Yeah, wow, that's desperate. That's scrambled.
Yeah, great work. She was actually backing off, changed direction and came in. Well done.
So 2 captains, captain on captain there, and inspirational really for the Titans at 3-0, past the halfway mark of the first half. We'll have the men's final for you a little later, but right now all the focus on the Titans and the Broncos and the women's. Hammett caught in possession, and now the Queensland Broncos defence is stepping up to the plate.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what's very noticeable already is both teams are going to the sub-box set to get fresh legs on. However, when the Titans go to their sub-box, the Broncos are using line speed and getting up and cutting off their yards. The Titans are hanging back.
So Broncos, they've had a lot of success with left to right plays on the biggest of plays. Now for Campbell, quick to dump it off there. This time they'll go right to left. No. If that pass is caught, it could have been flying leap and catch for the touchdown. That would have been something.
Yeah, it didn't quite get it. It wasn't the greatest pass. That was Susie again. But once again, some early alarm bells there for the Titans.
Men's final will see the Queensland Cowboys taking on the New South Wales Country Mavericks. And here are the Titans down 3-0 in the women's, the underdogs for the final.
See, they've gone to their sub-box set there. This time the Broncos don't come up as quick, but now they're starting to swarm.
Wanting to be the next to score in this first half.
Well, they're really putting some pressure in defence there. The Broncos are really minimising the space of the Titans. They need to get some good field position.
Well, yeah, field position, the key there. That's a couple of sets in a row that the Titans haven't got themselves down to the attacking zone of the Broncos.
See, the Broncos, they're doing the same thing, but the Titans are hanging back, and look at the difference in field position. That's allowing the Broncos to go in on the run. Here we go.
Hayley Rogerson is there now and is calling it. The defence has to keep moving off that goal line. Can't have a Mexican standoff there. Broncos this time will go right to left, and well, that's the contrast. Right to left, they're finding the grass. Left to right, they're finding the money.
Yeah, I don't think the Titans are going to be too upset about that. Coach Renee Murphy won't be too concerned because really the Broncos' strength is their running game, as we've seen with the 3 TDs. When they go to the passing game, bar the Peter Rogerson left to right, it's not their strength. So if they're going to make them do something, the Titans, make the Broncos pass.
Mentioned right at the top of the show as the Titans on this drive. We were here just under a year ago for the World Cup, which was just a massive success for the Australian teams against New Zealand. Maybe the most successful World Cup we've ever had in Australia. Crowd and reception and the level of performance Australia on that finals day was extraordinary.
Yeah, it was a great time. It was wonderful to have a World Cup on your home soil, and the results were brilliant. And a full credit to the staff and people here at the CX Stadium because we had some heavy rains, but come the grand final day, immaculate.
So now Rogerson dumping it off there. Catherine Sargent, left to right. That was pretty skillful there to end up with Katie Mallor there, scorer of the first touchdown today.
Yeah, they've got some great skills. Looks like the Titans have steadied the ship a little bit now, so they've got to just grind themselves back into the game and get on the scoreboard, and it'll be game on.
Still plenty of time in this first half.
Look at this.
That's a total breakdown there, but yeah, credit to the Broncos defence getting up.
Sammy Hopkins, their line speed. Look at it. Look at it come up. All 3 of them on the left-hand side there. They're not allowing the Titans to work it out of their half and to have clean substitutions. That's a big difference at the moment. The Broncos are winning the battle in the middle third of the field.
So Titans being suffocated here, you could say, as Mia Johnston has the Broncos attacking. It's always good to see the head-on camera here for you. As Johnston again.
Cut.
Pass. Oh, that may be a touchdown. It's right there. That is silky skills for Catherine Sargent. Scrambling defence just couldn't defuse the situation.
Yeah, once again, they've got one-on-one with the middle there. I think this time it was Sarah Spacey, was it? And look at that. Beautiful put down.
Great stuff.
That's what the Broncos need to do. They just need to get one-on-one with the middles and use their foot speed. It's almost like a replay, the 4 touchdowns. Or 3 of the 4.
There's plenty of times when you get that acting half going to the in-goal area that you have to bring in circus acts to try and pull off the touchdowns. You saw it there. That is the flying leap, dive and score.
Absolutely.
Catch the ball and put it down for a touchdown. Great skills.
Just the athleticism.
Yeah, exactly.
It's unbelievable. And it's as good as we've seen. And it just, if possible, seems to be getting better every year.
You're watching it here on Fox Sports. And a great partnership between touch football, the A's and the National Rugby League, the NRL. It is just getting bigger and stronger. So the Queensland Broncos with it, and this is Hayley Maddock. Oh, that almost went into the knees there. Hayley Rogerson, she fell at an inopportune time.
Nothing wrong with that, says referee McKenzie, and it's a change over possession. Oh, that's a concussion bin.
Well, she's looking for the quick roll ball, so she's more or less responsible for what happened.
That's
Hayley Rogerson.
Yeah, that's true. She's got to be a little bit stronger in the ruck there. That's a good decision by the referee.
The defence doesn't have to stop coming forward. So ball now with Paige Parker, and then for Mai, you've got Rebecca and Kaylee Mai, the twins, playing here for the Titans. A good thrill for them. Paige Parker trapped there, and again, Titans unable to come up with a touchdown.
Yeah, I think they've got to go to a passing game here, Vossi. They're too much short passing from the Titans, too much running. They are not going to beat the Broncos like that. But if they get it down for the 4-on-3 long balls for players like Quinlan, that can get them back in the contest.
It's worth noting in the Elite Eights, as we reach the 5th year, no women's team has won consecutive titles. But that is what the Broncos are trying to do right here. And they're certainly in the box seat at 3-zip. And with it is Mia Johnston. She's starting to put a stamp on this final. The number 9 for the Broncos.
Heavy collision there. But look at this. He leans her in and then tries to beat them out. Parker this time not falling for it. And great work by Quinlan. Comes in hard. Shuts it down.
Catherine Stevens there. You have to do the maths when you're in the defence on your own goal line. You have to number up really quick, make adjustments.
And make them quickly, as you said, quick decisions.
So Titans at 4-0 down, and now the ball with Sammy Jo Curtis, and just caught from behind there. One last play here for the Titans in this set. Couple of minutes out from half time. Started well, but it's gone a little wrong, and that's not going to help either.
Yeah, essentially, the Broncos just seem to be able to convert every time they get a chance in the in goal, and there's no doubt they're isolating the Titans middles, leading them one way and then beating them back the other. But they're just making too much yardage. That's the bottom line here.
The Titans feeling the pressure of the scoreline as well. I think they'd be happy if the halftime siren went right now and they could get together and do a little stock take. Put down there by Spacey. The space had been created here by Susie.
Susie's just causing havoc again. It's just the foot speed and the little left foot. They had numbers again there. If that ball goes to hand, it could be 5-zip.
There's been no let up from Kimberly Susie. She's been one of the players of the tournament. She's carried that form into the final so far. Titans back in possession. Final minute of the first half. 4-1 wouldn't be so bad given the dominance of the Queensland Broncos. Let's see if they can come up with a touchdown. Left. One pass. We've grown collectively there, as did all their supporters here at Coffs Harbour. They thought that was it. The space had been created in that right-hand channel.
Well, that was the opportunity to see on the run, continuity, no downtime. The Broncos couldn't mark up, as you mentioned earlier. They couldn't number up, but the pass just didn't get there.
No sign of the cue in the rack here for the Queensland Broncos coming up to halftime either. Sargent, this is very deliberate, beautiful right to left step, overlap in the corner, and the Broncos will get a touchdown right on halftime. Wow. How good is that? Rebecca LaPrake scores it. That is great play.
That hurts. I mean, that really hurts from possible 4-1 to 5-0. But once again, look, work the middle, in and then away. I think caught Belinda Hamlet coming in and back to the short side. It's a carbon copy. I'm telling you, they've got 5 touchdowns. 4 of them are exactly the same. And Renee Murphy's got some work to do on this Titans defence in halftime.
They are killing it. The Queensland Broncos will take a break. The Elite 8 women's final 5-0. The Broncos over the Titans.
On Fox Sports, you're watching the Elite 8 series from Coffs Harbour. Our coverage presented by Harvey Norman, the Australian Sports Commission, Destination New South Wales, BLK, Coffs Coast, Steedon, Sports Cover, Line Break, WWSI, CX Stadium and Tablet PC.
Ready for the second half here at the Elite Eights in Coffs Harbour, and it is the Queensland Broncos, made up of players predominantly from Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast, against the Queensland Titans, representing South Queensland and Southwest Queensland. But certainly the Broncos, they came in as warm favourites and they backed it up in the first half. A 5-touchdown performance, and that's not quite what we expected to start the first drive. That sort of built it up and got shot down.
Yeah, Catherine Sargent, that was a horrible pass, and she knew it. Her reaction was priceless. But, and there's returning serve there for the Titans, was Kayla Maimai. What a start to the second half.
Yeah, well, look, the Titans need a confidence booster. There's no question of that. They can't have the scoring going on from how it finished. That touchdown right at half-time was something special. Spacey there with a roll ball for Rogerson. First chance for a touchdown after half-time. Spacey caught in possession. Defence provided by Rebecca Maimai. But it is still on for the Broncos. Right to left, and inside ball has hit the deck now. Well, some confusion here between the referees. They're going to say Queensland Broncos ball.
Yeah, there's Rebecca Maimai, number 8. She just gets her left hand to that ball, knocks it down just as well. And it's 6 to go.
5-0 scoreline to the Queensland Broncos. Early stages, second half here in Coffs Harbour. And 4 days of action culminating with the women's and men's final. Queensland Cowboys against the New South Wales Country Mavericks to come. Dive low. And the Titans defence.
Oh, he's going to pay the touchdown.
I thought that Kayla Maimai had come up with a touch, but they've awarded it to Mia Johnston.
Mia Johnson. Oh, has she called a touch? No, she hasn't called a touch, I don't believe. Mia Johnson gets the ball off the quickie, leans her in, see how she leans her in, then off the left foot. And I don't believe that she's even called that touchdown. So great honesty there from Maimai, and an early strike, maybe a fatal strike for the Broncos.
So Maimai's gone right over the top of Johnston with a lunge, and it just shows you how low you can go when you get close to the line. Another skill that comes into play. We've had dives to catch, but right there to get that low. And now the Titans on the return looking for a second half reply and a quick one. It's become a real frustration for them, this final. Trying to work out how they're going to crack the Queensland Broncos defence, but the harder they try, the more mistakes they're making.
Yeah, I can understand now. They're a young side, and they deserve a lot better than this. They've had a fantastic tournament. They've been up against it and underdogs in a lot of games and just shown the tenacity to win. They've been a revelation at this tournament. And unfortunately, perhaps they played their grand final against the New South Wales Mets. But I'll tell you what, they're a good team and they deserve better than what this scoreline is showing at the moment.
Broncos back inside the Queensland Titans half. And with it, Kimberly Susie has just been such a star. And here she is. She sets up another touchdown. It's a touchdown, but Kimberly Susie is untouchable.
Absolutely. Too much speed. They've just done really well. Lucas Feldman, the coach of this Broncos team, has done a great job. They are so well drilled, isolating the middles again, and you can see the difference in foot speed there. But the patience. I'll remind you, Susie's a teenager.
Yeah.
And just the composure. She's running at warp speed, but just the patience to wait till someone's open and convert. And they've converted just about every opportunity, the Broncos.
We've got some great senior members across all the sides here at the Elite Eights and the women's, but Kimberly Susie is the best advertisement for women's touch in this country.
Absolutely.
Right at the moment. From the Sunshine Coast, she's come through the system. She's a star at a young age, and she may be one of the best in the country right now. And I will be honest, she looks 12.
Yeah,
facially, you think maybe she's just starting high school.
Absolutely. You know, this girl, I think this is her 2 years playing for Australia now. Started at a very young age. I'm telling you, she's not a star of the future. She's a star right now. Absolutely.
Interesting there to carry the cap in the teeth. Queensland Broncos with Peter Rogerson. I think she was trying to adjust the cap and then the ball came back her way.
Well, they can do anything, can't they? Why not? Here they go, working it out again. Great field position.
Maddock's been good. The number 6 here for Queensland. Real control through the middle that the Queensland Broncos have had. A little scratchy at the start, but they quickly got into their groove in the first touchdown, and it's just been consistent touchdown since that point.
Yeah, and look at their line speed defence again. They're still coming up. They're not, 7-0. They're still moving forward, still putting pressure.
Kiara Taylor gets the Titans to centre field with Paige Parker. Here is Paige again. Ashley Carney trying to steer them around there. Parker's with it. She's had plenty of touches in the final. And maybe that first touchdown will come in this set. They get close, but another ball hits the ground.
They just can't play the Broncos in the middle like that. They're just too quick. Look how easily their defence reacted. They've really got to start to stretch them one way and throw some long balls and try and get a 4-on-3 and make them make a bad decision. Because going a 1-on-1 for foot speed, the Broncos are all over them.
In this set, the Titans trying to contain the Queensland Broncos down in their half, and now the substitutes are affected. They've run on.
That's better defence by the Titans.
Kimberly Susie had to dump it off there. There she is, such a good mover. And now with Hopkin and through the centre. Wow, she went to top speed pretty quick there, Samantha Hopkin.
Yeah, another fast runner in that team, and her work's been very good as well. This game, a little bit overshadowed by Susie, but there she's making a touch, and she's a little ever-ready battery. She's plays at top notch all the time.
The appreciation, the speed that these girls are playing this final at, the aerobic pressure that is on here, as now the Titans scooping it up for Wadigo. Hasn't gone to plan for the captain of the Titans after that thriller in the semi-final. They won in the final seconds, getting up to win. They were on a high then and have been shut out here in the final.
You talk about their speed, Bossy. People at home should know that we're in the 27th minute of their 9th game.
Yeah.
This is their 9th game over 4 days in what I can assure you has been a very hot Coffs Harbour. And look at them run.
Mia Johnston, right to left on the bounce. Maddock. And again, once that ball hits the deck, turnover is automatic. So Titans will have the ball.
That's the play. Just make them pass. That's what the Titans have to do. And I think they've just got to try and get some long balls. They've got to play the game the Broncos just tried to play. And a bit of a switcheroo between the two teams may see a closer result.
Well, to their credit, the Titans they've held it to 2-0 in the second half here. 5-0 at the long break. As here are the Broncos on another drive.
Very young team. They'll get a lot out of this final, don't worry, and they'll be back bigger and better next year.
Savannah Pratton there. And now for Peter Rogerson. She's got the golden touch, and Maddock. Defence across there, Kiara Taylor. So Broncos possession. They go back to the 5-metre line.
Just look at Rogerson. We did speak about Susie, but look, what a leader. She just rallies her troops, calls the right plays. Left foot, she's still got it. Look, the calmness. She's just a wealth of experience.
Keeping it alive for Savannah Pratton. And that one out to left wing. Katie Mallor, first touchdown of the day. In fact, now Mallor has 2 next to her name. The only multiple scorer, in fact, for the Queensland Broncos. They've had 6 different players come up with touchdowns.
Savannah Pratt flying out of the line. They're just relentless, the Broncos, aren't they? Absolutely relentless.
Well, there's a bit of cheering going on for the underdog now. Can they come up with their first touchdown? Paige Parker combining there with Ashley Carney. They're right on the goal line now, and Parker threw it hard. That will be a Titans ball. Hard to avoid that one, the Queensland Broncos defence.
Yeah, very good play there. Just got probably a little bit too close to the line, allowing the Broncos to get up, get in the face, but that's the right idea by Parker. At pace, continuity, long ball.
Parker again, and off for Curtis. Quick dump off there, and there's an overlap in that left-hand corner.
Good defence.
That is scramble because there was no balance in the defensive line and still was able to cover the ground on Taryn Aiken from scoring.
That was Botten. Hats off, because, they are up 7-0, and she makes such an effort, a second effort to get out and make that touch.
They're looking to work out to that corner again. Wadigo will bring that defence forward. Little sustained attacking period here for the Titans. There haven't been too many of them in the final. Wadigo back for Parker, then decides that maybe right side's the go, but the acting half is caught there. Queensland Broncos ball.
She's tried hard, Paige Parker. I'll give her that. Her work rate is excellent. She certainly asked a lot of questions of the Broncos defence. They've come up with the answers most times. The top marks for her effort in this game. And I think we're 30 minutes in. Have we ever mentioned the referees, Vossi?
Not like you, Tony.
Unlike me, but I'll mention our great work. Referee Mackenzie Freshwater and Sheeky, they've done an outstanding job allowing this game to flow, and it's a great thing when you're not calling the referees 30 minutes into a game.
And Queensland Broncos, there was indecision there with the pass from Kimberly Susie, and I guess it'll be a tough market, so that's probably her first error. She got here and she was ready to set it up to the right and then sort of held the trigger on the pass.
Yeah, just second guess a little bit. Catherine Sargent ran the hole and was a bit unsure. Susie, whether to throw long or short there, but I think we can forgive her one error. And here come the Titans on the run.
Well, again, they've held it at 2-0 in their second half, but still looking for the first touchdown. No one wants a whitewash right to left. Oh, that counts as a touchdown save from Lucy Botton.
Off the head. She should be playing for the Socceroos. I thought it was Tim Cahill. That was fantastic.
Hang on a second. Where does Tim Cahill?
We'll have a look at the ball off the back of the head.
Oh, where does he? I think he normally uses his forehead, though, doesn't he?
Well, we'll take it. Once again, Botton, though, showing a lot of determination at 7-0 to come in, stop the short ball, then go out and stop the long ball.
You scramble any way you can. Queensland Broncos feeling they were hard done by here. But Titans ball definitely had better field position over the last 4 or 5 minutes. It's whether they can convert.
Yeah, they've done well. It's a shame that they gave him 5-star. His chance.
Andrea Sand, the door just opened. And Hinarangi, Andrea Sand going over for the touchdown. They're deliberating. They're going to say, yes, it is. The Titans have got there first.
Yes, they can only be. Referee Mackenzie came in and spoke to the controlling referee Shiki. I think they're going to say number 2 here, Sarah Spacey, didn't hit the scoreline to get onside, and she didn't. She was short of the line, therefore she's offside, and they're playing an advantage for a touchdown. Great refereeing.
So just to explain that even if the touch is affected there, she was in an offside position all along.
Correct.
Advantage played. Titans get the touchdown, and Hinarangi Andrea Sand, at one stage in the half we were thinking she's gone for the game in the first half. Looked to be badly injured, but comebacks and scores the first touchdown. So 7-1 is the score.
That's great vision there, isn't it?
Remember, you've only got the 6 players in the defensive line that have to cover the full width and the speed of the ball movement. Really need great communication to be an effective defence.
Absolutely, and you can understand why we mentioned earlier you need 14 players in this game, even though you've only got 6 on the field at one time. You know, look at the speed, look at Parker. As I said, game number 9 in Searing Heat for 4 days. You know, you need to keep turning over players and keep them fresh in their substitutions.
There's another great drive from the Titans. I mean, I know it's long gone as a contest, but you've got to admire the way they've stepped it up here, and they've got it to 7-1. It is only 2-1 since half-time. Broncos are back in possession, but there's been a lot more quality about the work of the Titans in their second half. And now the Broncos get their chance. They look to be back on song in this drive, with Stevens working down the centre. Nicely done with Campbell. Stevens to the in goal, needs to find support. Well, there was a challenge there. Watego may have grabbed the player before she got the ball.
This will be a penalty. Let's have a look. Does she grab the player here, Watego? Marking up, right hand. Yes, that's going to be a penalty. She's obstructed. That's a good decision again by the referee. Once again, the Broncos are too easy up the middle, straight through the middle. Mismatch one-on-one with Paige Parker, but they've done well there to hold him out, the Titans.
And Broncos with a chance over in that right-hand corner. Good defence there from Tony Wells for the Titans. Didn't panic for a moment there. It looked like it was a 2-on-1.
They are in the contest, Vossi. You're right. Apart from the scoreboard, they are actually in the contest. It's been a great second half by the Titans.
Catherine Sargent gets to in goal, but the touch is called. So Broncos will come back to the 5. All Queensland final in the women's. 5.5 to go here at the Elite Eights. And as I said at the top of the coverage, they were formerly the Chiefs, so will be recognised. Oh, I don't know about that. They will be recognised as back-to-back champions.
It's a changeover. The referees allowing the changeover. It's a bit physical. This is women's touch, but I think you've seen enough here to say that it's physical, whether it's women's or men's, and it's touch. They really do play for a lot of pride, and there's no quarter asked and none given.
Again, highlighting substitution. The players that come on, hello, there we go again.
Another one.
The players come on and slip into their role in a split second when the changes are made. It works like clockwork. You'd reckon people would run into each other. But they know their roles, they know where they're headed. Suddenly this isn't touch anymore. We have that many players in the deck the last 30 seconds.
Well, it just shows you how much it means. I mean, there's only 4.5 minutes to go. The game is effectively over on the scoreboard, but once again, you know, it means a lot to both teams.
Well, look, if the Titans can hold it at 2-1 the second half, it's a moral victory of sorts. That they stem the flow of touchdowns from that first half. Maybe the Broncos will change that in the last 4 minutes here. As it's Mia Johnson, they want to go out.
Hit.
There we go, down on the ground, Hayley Maddock.
I'll tell you what.
Counts as a tackle.
Talia Yarden has been in everything in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Maddock again. Maddock has stepped, got to in goal. This should be the touchdown. Yes, it will be. You can only hang on for so long. And the Queensland Broncos have another one. Lucy Botton takes it to 8-1.
Dare I say it, straight through the middle, take them one way, beat them back the other, and I'm so happy for these two girls. Number 6, Hayley Maddock, and number 1, Lucy Botton. They've had fantastic games, well deserved there, that set up for that touchdown and the score of Botton. They deserve that.
So a double to Lucy Botton, a double to Katie Mallor on the score sheet for the Queensland Broncos. And while we've sung the praises of Kimberly Susie and Peter Rogerson, I think a fair bit of credit has to go to Hayley Maddock as well for a big performance in this final.
Yeah, she's been very good. A little bit sorry for the Titans there because they've done a great job in the defence on repeat sets and unfortunately opened up there once the Broncos got running.
Acting half has to keep a cool head. They get it in goal, they can't score, and then you've got to have a little bit of, well, it's almost like quarterback vision from the NFL.
Yeah.
In trying to pick out where your runner is.
You know, they're
from Maddock.
They're a work in progress this time. Here comes Quinlan. They're a work in progress this Titans team. As I said earlier, they'll be back bigger and better. They'll get a lot out of this. They're a very young side, and Coach Renee Murphy's done wonderful things to get them to the final. Here's a chance.
With Kiara Taylor. So the Queensland Broncos defence don't want to leak a late touchdown here into the final minutes of the final. Again with Taylor, and good defence on their goal line there, the Broncos.
They're just relentless, the Broncos. They're absolutely relentless.
5-3 they beat the Queensland Cowboys in the semi-final, so just conceding the 3 touchdowns there and with a final spot up for grabs, and then only conceding 1 touchdown so far. Wow. In this final.
Kayla my. And it's referee Freshwater says nothing wrong with that. That's ball down. Let's see, Rogerson. Yeah, she's got to be stronger. That's fine too.
All right. Tony Trad with me, Australian Touch Hall of Famer and Australian men's coach.
Shades, and once again, the Titans, they're doing everything. A full credit to them. The scoreboard doesn't reflect the effort they put into this game or the tournament they've had.
Yeah, you can highlight probably from about the 5th to the 20th minute in that first half, and the Queensland Broncos were almost flawless. I mean, that was just sublime skills they put on. The touchdown package that you can make from the first half alone can sell the sport anywhere around the world. So how good's this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have run, and I mean they've literally ran for the entire game, and they've the exchange of passing, moving the Titans from side to side, and then at the death straighten up, isolate the middle, take them on. It's textbook stuff.
All right, so with Catherine Sargent, and we will have an MVP for the tournament and the player of the final, and there's a few candidates, but I think we're all focused on Kimberly Susie. Will she take it out? The Broncos want one more. They're not content to sit on 8-1. They want one more. Maddock has got them going again. She gets over a speed hump just about.
She's really come to her own towards the back end of this game. She's been solid all game, but she's really put the foot down on the back end of this half.
Geez, that's desperate from Semi Jo Curtis. She was falling. She still managed to pull off the touch. The full-time siren has sounded. And in the all-Queensland final, it's emphatic, the scoreline. The Titans gallant in the second half, but 5-0 damage done in the first half. That tells the story. And at full time, the Broncos, well, they have achieved back-to-back titles as the Chiefs last year. Now as the Broncos here at the Elite Eights. They win 8 touchdowns to 1. Doubles to Mallor and Botton, Campbell, Sargent, LaPrake and Johnston all getting their name on the scorer's sheet. And that 1 touchdown in the second half to Hinarengi, Andre Ascend for the Titans. It's decided, the women's final, and I don't think anyone can question the result. They've been unbeaten through the tournament, and they are the champions here.
Well, congratulations to the Queensland Broncos. We're here with middle player Kimmy Susie. Kimmy, you've just created history, first side to go back-to-back. So what's the feeling within the team? An extraordinary feat.
Oh, the feeling is so good. I think it's a bit of relief that the carnival's over and we've managed to come out on top. But yeah, we're just all so proud of each other because we all put it in for each other, and it's great to come out on top for this day.
Does the second one feel as good as the first one last year?
Oh, they feel just as good. This one feels probably a little bit better. You know, like we've worked so hard for this. Like the team has just come together so well. But yeah, basically the same. But yeah, it's good to go back to back.
You came straight out of the blocks. You hardly gave the Queensland Titans a chance today, did you?
Oh, that was our game plan. We didn't want them to get a sniff at all, so we just wanted to go hard at them and make sure that we kept them to a low-scoring game for them. So we did that, which was good, and we got a few on them, which was, really good.
Well, Kimmy, well played. Congratulations. Hope you enjoyed.
Thank you.
What a talent. Kimberly Susi, player of the final, player of the series. Next up here on Fox Sports at the Elite Eights, it's the Cowboys and the Mavericks. A little bit of state of origin from Coffs Harbour.
On Fox Sports, you're watching the Elite 8 series from Coffs Harbour. Our coverage presented by Harvey Norman, the Australian Sports Commission, Destination New South Wales, BLK, Coffs Coast, Steeden, Sports Cover, Line Break, WWSI, CX Stadium and Tablet PC.
Ready then for the men's final, not too far away, and an origin feel to it. New South Wales Country Mavericks against Queensland Cowboys. Back we go to Drury.
Yeah, thanks, Vossi. Well, we're here with New South Wales Country Mavericks captain Scott Bundy. Scott, you got to be impressed with your tournament thus far. How's the feeling coming to the grand final against the Cowboys?
Well, it's a massive event. We've been going pretty good, a couple of ups and downs, but see how we go in the final. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah, well, you won it in 2013, the Elite 8 series, of course, but 2014, the following year, lost to this same Cowboys outfit, then known as the Outlaws. So a big day for redemption for the Country Mavericks today. How are you approaching it?
Yeah, the boys are pumped. Can't wait.
Scott, thanks for your time, mate, and best of luck.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Let's have a look at the squad representing the New South Wales Country Mavericks. And in this team, well, he wasn't part of the tournament last year, but Dylan Hennessy, regarded as the best touch player in the world. He is a special talent, the man wearing the number 6 for the Mavericks. And as for their opponents here, the Queensland Cowboys, well, the player to look out for, he's been so good in the tournament, the number 10, Lachlan Pearce. If they are to win here, I reckon Lachlan Pearce will be one of the stars. Let's go back to Drury with the captain of the Cowboys.
Queensland Cowboys captain Dan Withers. Dan, it's become somewhat of a grudge match at Elite 8 series level, hasn't it? The Country Mavericks and the Cowboys.
Yeah, mate, it really has. The Mavs are always, up there in the top few at the end of the tournament. So I guess it's a repeat of 2014 this afternoon.
It's almost been a near-perfect tournament for the Cowboys thus far. The boys are looking quite confident every time they step out on the field as well. So how are you feeling? Are you confident? Yeah,
mate, we are. We've got a great young team with plenty of running. We've built some fantastic momentum throughout the tournament, but you hit it on the head when you said thus far. It's a national final. The slate's clean. We start at 0-0, so it's 40 minutes to really rip it and give it our all.
And the Country Mavericks particularly, what challenges do you think they represent?
Mate, I think they've got some fantastic ball players, across the park. So we've just got to make sure that we keep running in our legs. We stay nice and consistent for the 40 minutes, and hopefully we get the job done.
Well, best of luck in the grand final, Dan.
Thank you very much.
There you have it, Vossi. Exciting stuff. We're not too far away. It's back to you.
Here on Fox Sports, the men's final. It will be the Mavericks to get us underway. Players from across the country regions of New South Wales against the Queensland Cowboys, representing players in North Queensland and Central Queensland. Tony Trad with me again in commentary, men's coach for Australia and Hall of Famer. First drive with the Mavericks working forward. Both these teams have been former champions of the Elite Eights. And hang on, where'd this come from? Straight away out to Corey Whittaker. He stopped the clock. He scored the first touchdown just about inside 20 seconds.
Oh, lovely ball from Jared Rodimer, left to right, and he can do this, Rodimer. He has a look at that. He has a beautiful pass. And that's caught Sean Francis from the Cowboys coming in unnecessarily.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that the guile of the pass or a breakdown in defence for the Cowboys in the opening seconds of the final.
Well, they didn't have numbers, so in all honesty, it was a bad read by the winger there, but let's not take away from the quality of the pass. It was great.
Well, who saw that coming? What a start to the final. Strap yourself in for this one then. And now the Cowboys with a big pass right to left. That from Christian Kongu.
Yeah, that one overshot the mark, but you see the difference in the winger. The winger out there, see in going out, whereas the Cowboys winger was out coming in, thus a touchdown.
I reckon that ball didn't have a bit of fizz on it from Kongu.
Already you can see the skill of the passing game of the men's opens, and I'm expecting a lot of that strategy in passing, and there's a penalty. to the Mavericks. This is a good field position.
Tote with a pretty serious and determined drive, looking for the roll ball. The referee straight onto it. Buddy system with the referees. Another 3 referees in action here.
Yeah, referee Baggio, Skelly and Lavery, I think it is. So the 3 of them here all vying for duties in the international coming up in late April.
And that is the Trans-Tasman Series, which is just around the corner. Australia and New Zealand, and Australia to play warm-up games against Japan. We'll talk a bit more about that later as we watch the Mavericks on this play with the captain Bundy. Some surprise that Scott would have been made captain of the Mavericks, but here he is with that honour. And things getting serious here for the Cowboys' defence early if they'd have fallen 2-0 down.
I think that's thrown straight in the back of Dylan.
Oh, wow.
It's Tim Cahill again. It's a World Cup qualifier, this tournament.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't think you can call that a header. That almost took his left ear off.
Well, that was Hennessy, and his passing game is well known. That time throwing left to right, unfortunately straight into the head of Dylan Thompson.
So Cowboys possession, their turn to bring it on. Lachlan Pearce, here he is. Oh, going for the flick. The hair everywhere out the back of the cap, but he's been so good in the tournament.
Straight from the hippie commune. Have a look at him. He looks like he belongs in Woodstock, not on the field. But you know what I love about this kid? You see the speed there and just the devil-may-care flick. He's just a footballer, and he doesn't get tied up with too much technicality.
Mavericks back in possession. Tanagato dumping that one quickly off. Well, lovely scoop from Terry Deegan. That is a skill in itself. At speed, sprint forward, lunge down on the run. Don't miss a beat.
Yeah, carbon copy, taking the middle to the short side, then a flick pass. That one went to ground. So both teams running plays at each other here from the start.
Townsend, some nice work there for the Cowboys. Quickly into the Mavericks half, putting themselves in the attacking zone. Cridland, look at this with Hughes. Oh, then it is put down. It's gone straight through the hands of Sean Francis. I think he scores. I'm not 100% sure.
It's forward pass, I'm sure. Well, that's the play previously, but here it is here, I believe. No, that's the previous play. I think it wasn't. No, it wasn't. That's the play. That's a forward pass here. So we'll cut Francis some slack there, and the Mavericks get the penalty and bring it away from their line.
Well, certainly if the pass is on the mark and legal, they do definitely score.
Absolutely. They had numbers, created it beautifully.
We would have been looking at 1-1. And now quickly again, the drives, they're purposeful, getting themselves into the attacking zone really quickly. Scott Bundy took them left. The Mavericks don't have their second touchdown.
Great reaction defence. They did have a gap here, interchange between Bundy and Hennessy. That's a great ball by Bundy, but look at the defence there. Fantastic defence there by the Cowboys.
Kongu, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Moran, the winger, had the outside covered, so both working in tandem was great defence.
That's it. Man sliding across from the inside. Kongu, when Moran kept the man on the outside, marked up.
Working well together as a unit there, Cowboys in the early foray by the Mavericks.
Well, what I'll say is the Cowboys, they dusted themselves off having conceded that shock touchdown so early in the final. No heads down, just get on with the job.
Long
and
ball.
a little tap back inside. You don't often see that.
Well, that's actually a trend in the game of men's at the moment. Vossi, they're throwing the long balls to the winger. The link's biting hard. Hennessy came in hard there. And then a tap back, much like a throw-in from rugby. And the offensive link usually can walk over and score. I'll tell you this, they're starting to practice it at training these days.
Alrighty, Mavericks with the ball. And my co-commentator Tony will be coach of the Australian men's side when they take on the Kiwis. But that clash with Japan in the warm-up, I mean, it's great for world touch football to have Japan getting a little spot on the big stage.
Yeah, absolutely, great initiative. So Japan will be joining us in New Zealand, and they're actually sanctioned test matches, so they'll play 2 test matches against Australia and 2 test matches against New Zealand. So they'll come away with a lot of development and a taste of the big time, and that can only be good for the sport. So well done to the powers to be, a great initiative.
Jack Hughes, and then a juggling effort.
It's
Andrew Searle. Andrew Searle is celebrating here for the Cowboys. They've levelled the scores at 1-1, a little juggle and a touchdown.
Well done, the Outlaws. They've pumped them twice with long balls. This time Kongu, beautiful death pass. Bounces off the chest of Searle, but Tanagato misses the touch one-on-one there. Oh, that's a bad miss one-on-one. But nice work by the Cowboys there. 2 long balls to start with, and then pump, short ball. Well done, Kongu.
So Searle kept a cool head when the ball came out of his grasp at first attempt. Mavericks back in possession. And this is played off for Bundy and working across towards where Whittaker would be, but not quite what they were hoping for there. Cowboys, how quick is this? 2 plays back up towards halfway. The train is rolling here.
Great touch football.
Mavericks just couldn't contain that.
Yeah, the Mavericks tried the same play that they scored with there. The Outlaws, or the Cowboys, I should say, read it very, very well. And then straight to transition, as you can see, at top speed, earning a penalty in a repeat set.
Tony's had to put $1 in the jar for calling them the Outlaws. They were the Outlaws when they won in 2014, but now the Queensland Cowboys, and the Mavericks champions here previously in 2013. As now Pierce, or as Tony's called him, the hippie.
That'll stick. Yeah, great initiative. Touch football, of course, signing a partnership with the NRL and therefore the Queensland contingent of this tournament, aligning themselves with their respective NRL teams, the Titans, the Broncos and the Cowboys.
And the Cowboys being the defending National Rugby League champions in Australia. So maybe that luck will transpire here for their touch comrades. As Bart Hill just dumping that one off. The Mavericks with a switch from Dylan Hennessy. There's that little tap back inside. Bart Hill, well, that has worked beautifully for the Mavericks.
Hennessy,
I'm an instant fan of the tap back.
Well, there it is. And look, they would have practiced that. That's Hennessy to Quaylo. Both club members of the Western Suburbs Touch Club back inside to Hill. There you go, catching the link in, and that's a touchdown.
Well, that's the evolution of touch football, what you've seen there, because just a few years ago, you would have never seen that play. And it's produced here in a final, big stage, under pressure, and worked a treat.
Absolutely, that's an evolution. It's well put. It's exactly what it is, and we'll see what brings us next year, but that's certainly the fashion at the moment.
It's a 2-1 scoreline, and it is the New South Wales team in front against their Queensland counterparts, but the Cowboys looking to correct that pretty quickly, although Francis doesn't come up with possession. Ball on the deck, automatic turnover. And Mavericks ball.
That just gives you a little bit of insight into the Bart Hill, that's a horror. That's 10-pin bowling. He's going to have to spare this one, I think. Left one pin up.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Well, that's a strike power of the Mavericks. You've got Rodimer throwing a bullet left to right and Hennessy flying a bullet right to left. And they've got Thompson and Bundy that can hurt you in the middle. So the Cowboys have to be ready for that.
Losing Christian Kongu, the number 8 for the Cowboys, a live wire.
Yeah.
When he starts to dance about in front of that goal line. Here he is again with the ball. He'll keep you guessing. He's pointing. There's a bit of actor that goes into it as well. A bit of showman.
He's got beautiful hands, hasn't he? Just, not much work and the ball just zips out of them. He's gone long, he's gone short.
Searle dumps that one off. They'll work back. A little touch intercept. And, it's called back. Thinking it was away there, Dylan Hennessy.
He's got Hennessy offside. He definitely did not hit the line. That's what referee Skelly is saying, and he's absolutely correct.
Don't see too many intercepts.
Yeah, great vision, though. That gives us a clear look at the line from that high shot there.
So Cowboys again trying to pepper this Mavericks line. Mavericks up 2-1. There's Kongu letting that ball sing.
Francis, what a start is he having to this game. Catch the ball, son. I think he's looking and possibly tap back. The nice ball again from Kongu.
I call it putting fizz on the ball, what he's doing to it. There's some serious work put on that football.
It's got some zip on it, but you're right, Bossy. He's been in everything to start the game.
Mavericks possession past the halfway mark of the first half. And Tope, and now with Mitchell Burke. Substitutions made once they get up towards halfway on the last play. That's better defence.
Yeah.
Just tactically, Tony, when a side is on one of those serious drives at great speed, what can the defence do when they're on their heels?
You've got to push up, just like Sean Francis did then. You've got to get line speed and push up. If you roll back, you're going to give them good field position with time, and it's very hard to number up. So you've got to push up like Francis did there, take their space and make the touch.
They're on a sprint when you see them on this sort of drive. The acting half is getting there, scooping it up off the roll ball. They're doing it at high speed. Every player, all 6 players across the field, changes are happening off the sideline. There's not a nanosecond let up.
No, and it's all rehearsed. That's all like clockwork. Not much is left to chance, but so you've got to try and disrupt it as a defensive unit. Otherwise, they're just going to go through the motions and put you under pressure.
Mavericks with Dylan Thompson.
Well, there's a poor error. Quaylo. Got Vaseline on the hands there, but that's a turnover, and that gives the Cowboys good field position.
So here they go. Kongu was sprinted in off the sideline. Didn't muck about, did he? Coming off the substitute box there. He came in like he was a Usain Bolt.
Just on Chris Kongu, he was in the Australian system about, I think, 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. But I'm telling you, he's looking fit. He's certainly been putting some work in. It's the best I've seen him for many times. So I'm not surprised he's having a big impact on this game in the first 15 minutes.
Cowboys back in possession, trailing by 1 touchdown here. And with a skip, they go right side with Townsend. And there is Pearce. Lovely ball, cutting him out. And maybe an opportunity with Withers. Then steadies it up for Cormac Hock, as they like to call him, Cormac Hock.
McCormack Hock. He's a good young player, this kid.
Thought you said Hock. And last play here for Pearce. Touch is affected. That is desperate goal line defence from the Mavericks.
Good work there by Bart Hill on the inside. Pearce, beautiful. Looks to the right and steps back to the left. That's the calibre of the kid. Got a little bit high there, but great touch there by Bart Hill.
Final 5 minutes of the first half. Certainly tight. That's a 2-1. Only the 3 touchdowns scored, and one of those came in the opening 20 seconds.
It's 2 occasions now, the Mavericks just on transition, just breaking down, and look at that, coming up with nothing. So that's really poor substitution on their last 2 sets.
Yeah, they've fallen out of the groove in that set.
Yeah, just as you put it before, about the timing, the speed, getting it right, and you've got to move up and disrupt it in defence. But if you get it wrong, like the Mavericks did there, you pay the punishment, because they're in great field position here, the Cowboys.
With the swag, if you like, of Pearce here, steering them around through the middle here for the Cowboys. And now left to right this time. Pass from Zanetti.
Good touch there by Quayle. Quayle and Francis having a few words. Oh, he's all fumble hands at the moment, Quayle, but he's getting to take that tap again.
All right then, with the Mavericks trying to come up with a victory for New South Wales in the men's final, the All-Queensland women's final, won by the Broncos decisively.
Now, they've lost their way a little bit here, the Mavericks, on their transition. They haven't got the continuity in their field position. Look at this. Just moving around. It's like they're sort of out of sync, not knowing what each other's doing. Now they're going forward. This will give Hennessy a chance.
And look at Hennessy. There it is at full speed. The right-handed scoop. They're going to say they get another 6 plays here.
Matt Tope was in a shorter hole here. I think Andrew Searle's got his hand on the ball. Yes, he has. And may have just stopped a touchdown there.
So he's had a big part to play in this first half, Andrew Searle. Hennessy shouting instructions here to his Maverick teammates. It's almost like we come to a little hole there. It's almost like they went to an ad break.
Yeah.
And the Mavericks with the ball. Now they will get going. And there's a skip.
Yeah, I don't like that style of play from the Mavericks. I think that goes away from their strength. And I'll tell you who does like it. The Queensland Cowboys. They'll be loving that.
Gives their defence a little chance to get a breather as well. Mavericks will have a shot this time. Right to left with Bundy, the captain.
Great read. Sean Francis coming in off the wing and needed to there. Nice work. Saved a touchdown for sure on Langbridge. Is that Langbridge?
It was Burke, I think.
Burke,
hard
yes.
up on the right shoulder to the pass.
Great touch, Sean Francis. Good read. I wonder if the Mavericks will learn from that and run the same play but hit the left winger. No, they won't.
Interesting situation. So Hennessy offloads nicely and right on the goal line. That had to be made. The scoreline here, the defence. I mean, that is a big touch coming in, having to make a quick decision. What we've spoken about before, and that was a right decision.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 2 great saves by the Cowboys wingers on the right edge and the left edge, and saving 2 touchdowns. Well done. Just before half time, that could be very important. I
was going to make the point. It's 2-1. But if I'm the Cowboys, I'm not really concerned at all. In fact, I would say the Cowboys have got the better of play, but it's just they're down the 2-1, and you go back to the very first touchdown of the game inside the first 20 seconds. I actually think the Cowboys are on top here, but are trailing 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely. See, the Cowboys are undefeated coming into this final, and this is how they've been playing. Just steady, consistent grind, going through their systems, and they've come up out on top, so they don't need to change anything for the final.
So Mavericks now, wide ball there from Rodimer, who produced the pass for the first touchdown. Yep. Here we go again.
Malcolm Kenny, great read. That's twice Kenny now has been read the game properly, or read the game very well and saved 2 touchdowns. Their wingers are doing a great job for them, the Cowboys.
Rodimer can certainly let a pass rip. Kongu. So final seconds of the first half. Kongu's got him on a roll. Maybe they can square it up right on the break. This is the last play. There won't be any level score at half time after that. Mavericks will have that advantage, but it could have been.
Yeah, McCormack Cock shaping to throw left to right there. He's got a left to right pass.
And halftime siren sounds. Well, Mavericks will be relieved to have the lead. This is going to be a tough one to call. I don't think anyone's celebrating early here. Second half to come. Elite Eight's final from Coffs Harbour. The Mavericks in front.
On Fox Sports, you're watching the Elite 8 series from Coffs Harbour. Our coverage presented by Harvey Norman, the Australian Sports Commission, Destination New South Wales, BLK, Coffs Coast, Steedon, Sports Cover, Line Break, WWSI, CX Stadium and Tablet PC.
Here on Fox Sports, only the 3 touchdowns in the first half, and coaches John Dalton for the New South Wales Country Mavericks and Phil Guymore for the Queensland Cowboys. Their instructions at halftime. Tony, would it be any different to how they started the match?
No, I think both teams would be happy, or both coaches would be happy with how their team's going. I think just more of the same. They're just filling each other out a little bit. It was a little bit of a dour struggle the first half. I think it'll open up a little bit the second half.
So Cowboys on the first drive, and Pearce takes them back. You got to think that if the Cowboys excel, it'll be Kongu and Pearce that do all the spark or provide all the spark. Mavericks on that turnover with the interception.
Yeah, I think that was McCormack Cock possibly trying to throw right to left there, but well read by Whittaker then, and once again a winger from the opposition in defence doing a great job. I think what I like about this Cowboys team, what I've seen, is their defence. You know, they're very patient, they're making a late decision, they're not rushing, you know, making an early call. They're waiting to see what the Mavericks have got and then reacting, and they're doing it quite well. Just very calm and composed.
Cowboys in the semis had the close finish against the Mets, so they can handle pressure.
Yeah, they're a good side. I mean, they won it in 2014. They're actually playing without 4 of their regular players in this team, and some thought that would be difficult for them to overcome, but they proved it hasn't. Look at them just going through their systems. Very little error rate, completion rate is good, playing field position. It's simple football.
So now Francis and Pearce, and the substitutions are made as Zanetti just dumped it off. And another, what I describe as a serious drive from the Cowboys, with a little bit elusive there. Andrew Searle, their support. That'll be a touchdown. He kept the pass low. Gee, that's clever from Searle. If he throws a high ball, the touch is probably made. But Damon Moore gets a low ball. Well, around his knees, really, but he knew it was coming.
Another one-on-one miss here by Bundy, I think it is. There it is again, just lunging, similar to the early one with Tonegado. And you're right, look at the low ball here for Moore. Down.
Great stuff.
Great work. Wow.
That's that is teamwork. And Damon Moore knew the ball's going to come low. I've got to be ready for it. You know, at another point of the field, you're entitled to drop that, but he knew it was coming. Beautifully done. That's
exactly right. Not just the skill of and the thought of the long ball, but the fact that Moore was awake to it and got down low. He's a great young player, Damon Moore. Prodigy of the Australian 20s team. Excellent player. And 6 to go here for the Mavericks, so they're going to get a chance to reply. 2-all
scoreline. And I've got to say, I don't think that comes as any surprise given the effort of the Cowboys in the first half. Their reward comes after half-time. So the Mavericks have got work to do now.
Just bad one-on-one misses, both of them. I think that's got to be disappointing, but they got plenty of firepower here, Mavericks, so they can certainly get back in front with some good execution.
Right, who has to step up for the Mavericks? Scott Bundy, captain there with the ball, linking up with Dylan Thompson, and then Bundy. Well, let's travel forward into the in-goal, that one.
It's Cam Newton, that. I don't understand that play. You've got Dylan Hennessy, who is clearly one of the best passers in the game, if not the best player in the game. And he's running a sweep, which is what Dylan Thompson normally does because he's one of the best sweepers, and Scott Bundy's throwing the pass. So that has got me bewildered, that particular play.
Cowboys, as they've done many times in this final so far, the drive gets them down the other end quickly. There's the flick from Kongu. Ball ended up rather favourably for the Mavericks to come off their line. There's no thought of going the distance. It was about setting up for the next play.
Don't you love the flick passes and the confidence of these players? It's terrific.
Jared Rodemar was the one who latched onto the ball. He was quickly looking for support. Now Hennessy back on, the 6 that we keep our eyes on. There he is, that wonderful scoop up on the last play, left to right. There may have been the overlap there.
Definitely was. Francis came in, but Tonga just a little, Tonegado, a little bit of a bobble here. If he catches it clean and gets it away, it's a touchdown. Here it is. Catch and pass there, and it's a touchdown. Bad luck, good play there, but once again, Francis did enough to put pressure on Tonegado.
I must say, that head-on replay really highlighted the skills of Dylan Hennessy. A whole bunch of them, all done in the space of one little play. As the Cowboys now, great
There
pull
it
in
is.
there. How about that gather in of the Cowboys, and a flick and a juggle right on the fingertips of Dave Zanetti.
I've seen it all. Wingers are flick passing now. I've seen it all. Have a look. It's a great ball here. Now watch Francis going for the line, a sneaky little flick pass. There it is. Oh, stop it. Somebody stop the fight.
No, but I go back to Andrew Searle, what he did in gathering in and turning around.
Beautiful.
Oh, that was just a great passage from the Cowboys. They're still on the attack.
Great skill by Searle then.
2-2 scoreline. And they slow it all down for Zanetti and Pearce. And then for Hock. Now they'll step it up. Hock and Pearce combining the quick dump off there. Right to left,
forward.
2-1. The Cowboys, they're going to say forward.
Oh, surely that's forward.
Well, no, they're not. They're going to say touchdown. I thought one of the referees was saying the ball had travelled forward. They've awarded the touchdown to Trevor Moran.
Great phase play, great dump here. Beautiful work by Dave Zanetti. Like, that is a great flick, but that's gone forward.
But the Cowboys, as a result, are in front for the first time in the final.
Yeah, well, you know, despite the final pass or tap on, great play, took it to the Mavericks' left edge, came back, down for face play, brought in the link, Luke Tonegado, threw a long ball. Great football by the Cowboys, and they are looking ominous at the moment.
Mavericks want to be the next to score. So even though we've got the buddy system with the referees, I mean, one referee, the control referee at that point, has to be the one who makes the call. He went touchdown.
Well, he makes the final call, but he takes advice from his linesman, and I'm fairly certain they're all in agreement there. And they're there, let's be fair, we're behind the ball here. They're there in line. They've called it good, so we're not in a position to argue. And the three referees all work together in making the final decision.
Cowboys getting a little momentum going down that left channel here, peppering the right side defence of the Mavericks once they get down near that scoreline.
Whilst you know the Mavericks won't be happy conceding the touchdown, at least it was great work by the Cowboys, and they made them work rather than the one-on-one misses that the Mavericks had come up with previously. So, you know, that's just good touch.
So Mavericks possession. They led this final after just 20 seconds. There's another one of those tap-ons.
I don't think I've seen a game at this level like this for a long time, where it's just tap-ons and tap-backs and flick passes. And
well, that's just not just a tap-on. That's just a full-blooded spike. It's really gone on with some force.
Yeah, it's probably just too much wheat bix, but still, just the thought process and the confidence to go for it is amazing.
Malcolm Kenny and the Cowboys. Here's again Kenny and Pearce. Yes. And they're getting serious now, aren't they? Hock through the centre as it comes up again for Hock. And that was unfortunate for the Cowboys. They had it really going there. The Mavericks struggling to keep in touch. A little bit of debate here for the referees.
Good work by the Mavericks. He flooded the channel and just got in the passing lane, so that Hock couldn't get the ball away and Pearce couldn't get the ball away. Oh, and Quaylo's giving him a bit of a push here, but I'm sure it's all accidental.
Pearce was looking to quickly shovel that along.
And had he got it through, the winger was open.
Almost all in one motion. Langbridge is the number 5 for the Mavericks.
Yeah, this is too much stop-start for the Mavericks here. And as I said, the Cowboys' defence, they make late decisions. They like to sit in the pocket and wait. And so this time with stop-start, and that'll play right into their hands. The Mavericks really have to go down there with decisive running, get the ball down quickly for their passing game and play expansive football.
Well, that Mavericks last drive, they finished up at the end of their set well short of the 5-metre zone. That's either a combination of attack not quite working as it should and the defence doing its job, as here is Pearce. He puts a swerve, he gets a pass.
Francis.
And the Cowboys have got 3 straight touchdowns. They've opened up the Mavericks defence there. Francis gets it. But the big salute goes the way of Lachlan Pearce.
Beautiful, sublime hands here from Pearce. Great hold by Francis. And another one-on-one miss. They just look so disjointed. You had Hennessy at right leg going out. You had Hill, I think it was, chasing, expecting Hennessy to come in. And the edge defence of the Mavericks just seemed confused. But what about a winger coming in and hitting a hole short? Sean Francis is everywhere at the moment.
4-2 scoreline. So from 2-1 to the Mavericks at half-time, 9 minutes into the second half, and it is 4-2. Mavericks, Hennessy does quickly. There will be a touchdown in the corner. That is a great reply from the Mavericks, working it across to have a position or a situation where Quaylo could have had 10 seconds to put the ball down.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's the blueprint. Long, expansive touch, down for face play. Great pass there. Beautiful hands. And Quaylo just walks over. Great hands from Terry Deegan. That's how they've got to play the Mavericks. That's the only way to break up the Cowboys' defence.
So it is still game on. Looking for a Queensland double here at the Elite Eights this year. And the Cowboys, here's the speed of Pongu on show quickly. If that is held, well, he would have had to get back to his feet to try and score with a scrambling coming across Tonegado.
Yeah, you could just see, so the Cowboys getting one-on-one on the edges, looking for the short passing, exchange of passes, short hole running, and it's working for them. And the Mavericks can't afford to play that game because you can see how good the Cowboys are. They're opening them up at will. So we should, Quaylo again.
Wow, this is the final quarter of the final right now.
Discussion, will it be overturned? No, it won't. The decision will stand. Let's have a look at it here on replay. Rodimer looking to sub. And no, that wasn't touched. That's a good decision by the referee.
Yep. Slid out of play. They have to make their decisions without the benefit of the replay.
Absolutely.
But while it was a bit frenetic, there was no touch in all of that. And a lovely ball left to right. Really using the width of the field here. Just wants to get a little cleaner though, doesn't he, Malcolm Kenny? Here's Pearce. I'm itching to use the saying he's not here for a haircut, but he could do with one. We'll just see if he comes up with another big play, Lachlan Pearce. And I suppose I've preempted what I'm going to say. If he does set it up, the Cowboys now opening up the Mavericks defence like they're opening up a tin of sardines at the moment. Your man, Mac Cormac Hock, has got the touchdown.
It's too easy. It's another short ball. And Hennessy going out when he should be coming in. Again, it's on the right edge. That's just too easy. Like, that's great touch, but very poor communication and reading in defence. But again, what a great hole. They can hit some holes, these Cowboys.
Yeah, a lot of touchdowns scored in that middle third here, which you don't expect. But they've done it. The Cowboys, again, the margin is 2. Now it is. The Mavericks have to score next at 5-3. And where's the support coming?
Down.
The defence aimed up. And has it been good enough? Again, the referees consult. This is quite a deliberation.
That's a touchdown.
They're going to say touchdown. They're alive, the Mavericks. Got to give them credit. Terry Deegan gets it.
That's smart play. That's using your skill set. Dylan Thompson, arguably one of the fastest players in the game. He goes one-on-one here with Jaden Bembo. Does him for speed. Shows plenty of patience. He's very, very quick. Look at the tussle at length there between Deegan and he's clear. That's down. Another good decision by the referees.
Again, benefit of the replay. Showed it up clearly.
Yep.
But, wow, we've said it before. Once you get in goal, you've got to keep a cool head. You've got to have the vision of an NFL quarterback to see where the players are coming from. The defence was doing its job. It just took real skill to outsmart them.
Yeah, great work by Deegan to get clear. And they're back in the game. But here it is, a short pass.
Oh, the Cowboys will get over as well.
Missed.
It is short-lived. 1 touchdown margin. It goes out to 2 again. Jared Townsend gets there. The defence conceded. There was no touch.
Kongu and Pearce all day, every day. These two are causing havoc, and it's the short passing. Let me tell you, let me give a rap to Coach Phil Guamel, because this isn't just happening by chance. They're not just gripping it and ripping it to the wingers and bombing away like we've seen in the past. They're working the edges of the Mavericks. They must have seen something in the tournament, and it's paying dividends right now.
What about the touchdown tally in this second half? Hasn't it opened up? 3 in the first half, 7 in the second.
That's
They're not going to die wondering. Hennessy with that big ball.
Touchdown.
They've got a touchdown again.
He's played 6 to go.
Wow.
Skelly.
What a celebration as well from Quaylo. He's had a mixed final.
No, they're playing a touch here. Referee Badger has given advice to Skelly that is a touch, and it's not a touch. Well,
6-4 it stays, so Quaylo.
He is an outstanding referee Badger, and I can only assume there, we didn't have the greatest of angles, but when the ball is knocked back towards Quaylo, if the Cowboys player still had his hand on Quaylo when Quaylo gathers it, that's a touch.
Right.
And I reckon that's what's happened, and we haven't seen it from our angle, and referee Skelly wouldn't have seen it from the other angle. And he's too good a referee to get those ones wrong.
Well, again, they're all live decisions at speed for the referees here, but it was a massive call. Context of the game, the final 6-4, and now with 2.5 to go, that may be the icing on the cake.
That's how big that call is.
7-4, so what could have been 1, the difference is now 3, with Andrew Searle going over for the touchdown.
And who is it? Kongu and Pearce again on the edges. It's a carbon copy. In fact, that is the touchdown before there. So that's not the touchdown just scored, but once again, it's the edges, working them, paying the rewards. And I'm going to back referee Badger on that call because he doesn't get them wrong.
So Searle has got a double for the Cowboys. It's 7-4. It would take a miracle to pick it back in the final 2 minutes. The Mavericks, though, still having a crack.
Look at Dan Withers there, the captain, and Dave Zanetti, two of the senior members of this team, imploring the Cowboys to stay up and pump up in defence. They want this.
Now, eight touchdowns in the second half here on Fox Sports at the Elite Eight final. Just exploded with scoring plays in this second half.
Yeah, once again, a ball into the head of an opponent. They just look disjointed to me, the Mavericks. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, but the Outlaws, or the Cowboys, they're just going through their systems.
Well,
working beautifully.
They did it as the Outlaws in 2014. They're going to do it as the Cowboys here in 2016. And the Cowboys, with this joint venture, Australian Touch Football and the National Rugby League, you can call it a Cowboys double if you like. The Cowboys, the defending NRL champions, they are now the Elite Eight champions. They've come from behind at halftime 2-1, but even then, they hadn't played poorly in the first half, and they've really put on a show in the second to win 7-4. Plenty of tension in the final, but the Cowboys just a little too good. Cowboys 7, Mavericks 4, and we can lock it in. It's a Queensland double at the Elite across the women's and the men's. Queensland Broncos winning the women's and the Queensland Cowboys winning the men's. And just another little comparison with the NRL, it was a Cowboys-Broncos final, grand final last year. 2 touchdowns to Searle, Moore, Moran, Francis, Hock and Townsend, Whittaker, Hill, Quaylo and Deegan. Let's go on ground with Drury Forbes.
Thanks, Vossi. 2016 Elite Eight Player of the Tournament, Lockie Pearce. Congratulations. You've just won another Elite Eight series, and you had some hard work to do in that one because the Country Mavericks, they came out of the gates.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough game. We versed them in the rounds and got them by a bit, but we knew they still had left things in the tank and they were going to bring out in the final, and they were real good. Tough game, but in the end, the troops come out with the goods.
Lockie, what was most pleasing about the Queensland Cowboys, your teammates' performance out there in the final?
I think just the grit that we showed. It was tough, but we knew that if we stick together, stick to our policies, that we were going to get over in the top. Confidence in each other, and the boys were always going to come through in the end, I believe.
Forgive me for saying so. It looks like you got the wood over those Country Mavericks boys.
Yeah, we got them, no worries. Boys from the bush in Townsville, all the troops up there, they're all awesome, backed us all the way home, so thanks to everybody out there as well.
And mate, just finally, Player of the Tournament, wow. How's that sit with you?
It's awesome, everyone, people are running around trying to do their best, and you win something like that, it's unreal, Great feeling, so that's all I got. Thank you.
Enjoy it, Lockie.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, mate.
Good on you, Lachlan. It's all he's got. Well, what he had was outstanding. Tony, always a pleasure to work with you. It's been a super tournament, the Elite Eights, and well done to the 2 Queensland teams, the Queensland Broncos and the Queensland Cowboys.
The New South Wales Government, through Destination New South Wales, is proud to partner with Touch Football Australia to secure major touch football events in New South Wales. The 2016 National Touch League is one of the highlights of the New South Wales regional events calendar and showcases the magnificent Coffs Harbour region.
Bye.